Well, that's it. But it's not even what they're paying, because in a free market, people are need to be paid because there's going to be competition for good people. Walmart designs an economic model to destroy everything else in the community. And so that's why Walmart is such an issue, is they create these deserts out there in the culture. And they sell Chinese slave goods, but it doesn't matter because they have giant American flags hanging up that says Made in America. I appreciate your call. Great point. Will in FEMA Region 5, what former state are you in now under FEMA control?
Hello, sir. How are you doing today?
I'm good. What former state are you calling from?
Michigan.
Oh, they've certainly done a nice job there. NAFTA and GATT turned out real good, huh?
Yeah. And even though I know you like to, and kind of talking on Walmart, because I had to buy some stuff for some camping and family whole goodness that was needed, because I take my family out camping. Allow them
Sir,
to
there
enjoy
are FCC rules against profanity. Families are hateful and hurt people's feelings that don't have families. Do not wear American flags. Do not say the word family. Thank you.
Well, in any case, when I was checking out and that, I seen a guy buying some ammo, and he thought all the ammo, reason it was like hard to get 22 and other forms of ammo was everybody was hoarding them. He never heard of the Homeland Security doing the bullet buys.
Or shutting down the gold smelting facility, the last one in the country this year, or doing importation bans, or trying to buy up all the small calibers. Yep.
Of course, also on another note, and it's one that's if you want to call it a minor economic fight, here in this region, there's what you could call a minor version of Walmart called Myers that pulls about the same level of bull in this region, and it does the same and it only and even though some of their stores are union, which you know where the money from the former union dues on that goes, but yeah, it's crazy all over.
Yep, and the unions are promoting illegal aliens coming here to drive down their wages and take their jobs. What a great plan. Good points. Good to hear from you, Will. Let's talk to Merle in Oklahoma. You're on the air. I know another Merle from Oklahoma, Merle Haggard. Go ahead.
All right now, Alex. How are you today, sir? Thank you for having me on your show.
You bet. Good to have you here, sir.
Yes, like on these armored vehicles, they kind of quit saying anything about them. We know the news has put on there that Coffeyville, Kansas has received one, and the Cherokee Nation, they have given one to the Cherokee Nation. So that might be a whole new turn to cowboys and Indians. On this issue with the immigrants, the illegals, I called my congressman, Mark Wayne Mullen, and Langford is running for Coburn's office. And first they started lying to me about, oh, those are just little kids. I said, we have the documentation. I didn't tell them where it came from, that mothers and they're letting gang members into this. What's going on? Well, we don't know. We can't control that. That's Obama's executive order. And I said, well, can't somebody go up there and get a straight jacket and put on his butt? They told me they finally said that they didn't want to hear it when I caught them in their lies, that they didn't want to hear it, and it wasn't their business, and hung up on me. So any of you Oklahomans that's listening on these elections that's going on, you can count these boys down and put them in office, because they're in on the bad stuff. But I just thank you for your time, Alex. God bless what your whole crew does, man.
Thank you so much, brother. Yeah, they got Boehner and others out saying, see, we need to legalize the illegals to fix the problem. That's like Obama saying, come, that'll fix the problem. Be like if your boat had a hole in it and you went, let me fix that. So you shot 85 more holes in it, grabbed a hatchet, started hacking holes in the bottom of the boat. The country is going into depression. The meat prices are doubling. The fuel prices are increasing. The money machine printing is up on high. The elite is all dancing around while the rest of the country falls apart. You have to build up the United States to build up the countries around it. You don't. David Knight had the analogy of the oxygen mask. They tell you in a plane if you're with your children and the oxygen pressure gets lost and the oxygen mass drop. You only got like 20, 30 seconds to get it on before you pass out. Get it on yourself, get it working, then get it on your kids. Because if you wait and try to get it on your kids, you're going to pass out. They're not going to be able to get it on you. I mean, I really want prosperity in Latin America. But I don't want to live in Guatemala. That's the second largest immigrant group. Guatemala is as close to living hell as you can get. I have family that live down there. I've been down there. It's scary, folks. Let me tell you, I've been down there one time, and I ain't going back. The whole place is one giant open sewer of crime and evil and poverty. It's ultra beautiful. Volcanoes, jungles, but it is hell. And those people have no idea what freedom is. By the way, we have a double link on Drudge, this new article, Border Agents Quitting Over Catch and Release of Known Gang Members, MS-13. Desperate agents' pleas for help ignored as DHS bankrolls invasion.
Are you happy doing your laundry with perfume detergents that irritate your skin? Are you happy washing your hands with stinking fragrances that gives your skin rashes? Are you happy paying new, higher prices for smaller boxes? Find your happiness today with our 1 to 4 year supply of pure soaps or our 1 to 2 month sampler with bar soap, shampoo, laundry, and dish soap at 5starsoap.com. You deserve the best. Happiness is 5starsoap.com.
We the people grow cotton, weave fabric, engrave ink, embed strips and fibers to protect from counterfeit and carting to a private bank, having it led back at interest, forcing taxes to service debt. This capitalism, or was Jefferson correct when stating a central bank issuing the public currency is a greater menace to the liberties of the people than a standing army? Ted Anderson, I'm placing a free silver dollar in a book that explains our monetary system. Call for your copy, 800-686-2237. It's time to understand the system. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
In the near future.
When you realize how fake it all is, the football, the basketball.
Alert. Security alert. This is Homeland Security. Analysis. InfoWars building independent media operation.
We let the worst people get control and tell us that we are the ones responsible.
Prime Directive. Discredit Alex Jones.
Jones is the wildly popular conspiracy theorist.
It's a popular conspiracy theory talk show called InfoWars.
Alex Jones is now in an Austin jail.
These people are assaulting us.
Targeting of patriots engaged.
They are never going to stop. They're never going to deviate from their program until we stop them.
Block free iPhone app at Infowars.com. Block free podcast and video feed. Imperative. Destroy Prison Planet TV.
You gotta set your eye on the enemy, not worry about what propaganda they put out. Intellectually, it's begun and you can feel it.
A sudden change in the wind. The day grows dark as ominous clouds move in and lightning begins to carve arcs in the sky. And you realize you are not prepared.
I am telling you to take cover.
The number of intense storms is increasing exponentially in the U.S. Tornadoes, hurricanes, flooding, and droughts are happening with greater magnitude and frequency. If you are choosing to rely on the government to save you,
And no one's coming to help them.
you could be dead wrong. The first step towards self-reliance in the face of disaster is a visit to MyPatriotSupply.com. There you'll find the absolute best prices on storable foods, non-GMO seeds, emergency water filtration devices, and so much more. All orders over $49 qualify for free shipping in the lower 48. Visit us online or call 866-229-0927. That's 866-229-0927 and speak to one of our preparedness advisors today. Remember, before it's time to survive, it's time to prepare. MyPatriotSupply.com.
We're in strange days, my friends, when evil is just unloosed. David Knight is going to be on the Nightly News tonight, breaking down some incredible information. He's going to give you a little forte of that and then get into his report from last night's Nightly News about the emails that have disappeared now and how ridiculous that is. But briefly, this hour was brought to you by MyPatriotSupply.com/Alex, where you find their great specials. They're the storable foods company, non-GMO, great customer service, lasts for 20 years. You need to be self-sufficient. That's where I get my storable foods, MyPatriotSupply.com/Alex or 866-229-0927. A big deal in the London Telegraph and several other publications. Tell us about what's coming up on the Nightly News tonight.
Well, Alice, it was actually kind of ironic that at this Margaret Thatcher conference, you've got these people who are pushing NAFTA, they're pushing the European Union. It was at Bilderberg.
She helped kill the takeover of England for a while.
Exactly. And after she spoke out at Bilderberg, she was thrown out. But, of course, David Petraeus has been there now for 2 years in a row. And he was at this conference. We're going to talk about this tonight in the Nightly News. And he answered the question in his conference, after America, what next? Okay, and he talked about America Plus, and he said, well, what's coming after America is North America, highly integrated forces of Canada, the U.S., and Mexico. And, of course, he says NAFTA. That's what this is really about. When people don't understand what's going on with immigration, they don't understand.
It's the collapse of all three countries into total slavery, with Mexico and North Korea and China as the model. We'll cover that tonight, 7 o'clock in detail. The article's Margaret Thatcher Conference on Liberty as it happened, London Telegraph, and she fought what they're now selling. Let's go to your report, David Knight.
Now, the House of Representatives has been investigating the IRS to see if they singled out Tea Party groups for political persecution. A large part of that investigation are incriminating emails that the IRS is now saying have disappeared. Is it credible that Lois Lerner and now 6 other IRS officials would lose all of their emails due to a computer disk crash? Now, some people might find that credible because that's happened to them with their personal computers, but we're not talking about personal computers.
You found one? Did I? It looks like this one is deducting for medical payments covered by insurance.
This, we suspect, is how a great many people think of ADP, Automatic Data Processing, the newest tax tool of the Internal Revenue Service, and a new dimension in tax administration.
The IRS has policies, procedures, and technology that you don't have on your personal computer. We're told that the electronic records weren't archived for very long, but the IRS's own record-keeping requirements for us treats electronic records the same as paper records and requires that we keep records for 3 to 7 years, indefinitely if fraud is suspected. But IRS policy says that official emails are federal records, and they're required to be printed and stored separately and permanently. And the emails don't just reside on a hard disk. These emails pass through servers, and the IRS has a huge IT department to ensure that data is backed up and preserved. And reporter Cheryl Atkinson reports that an IRS official told her that email is backed up with something called a RAID. A RAID is a redundant array of independent disks. In other words, 2 physical hard drives are put together in one enclosure. Information written to one is also written to another. Now, what that means is that although a single hard drive might have a mean time between failure of 5 years, that would give you a probability of about 1 in 78,000 that this would fail. When you put them together in a RAID configuration that's mirrored for security, you wind up with a mean time between failure of 500 years. In billions. In other words, it's not credible, even if they weren't mirrored, that all 7 of these would fail and lose the most critical time period that they're looking for. I say the IRS officials need to be held to the same standard that they hold the rest of America to. For example, they should be guilty until they can prove that they're innocent. They should be required to retain data for 7 years, just as we are.
We'll be back in Overdrive with more. Stay with us, Infowars.com/show for the free video feeds. More calls coming up. Great job, crew.
GCN.
You're listening. Spread the word. Don't take the show for granted.
GCNlive.com
They're trying to stop us. Let's not let them win.
A chemical spill contaminating the water supply in 9 West Virginia counties.
This year alone, over 300,000 people in West Virginia had their drinking water contaminated.
What are the health effects of having these drugs in our drinking water?
It's forced medical treatment without the consent of residents.
My friends, water filtration is one of the most basic actions you can take to protect you and your family from the harmful toxins and heavy metals in your tap water.
On average, the county says it sprays with the glyphosate at least once a week.
Few filters cut out the glyphosate that is found in water supplies worldwide. Remove pesticides, herbicides, chloramines, hydrofluorosilicic acid, sodium hexafluorosilicate.
Fluoride, it is in tea, it's in coffee, it's in water, it's in bread, it's in toothpaste.
It is our responsibility to protect our families. The establishment's not going to do it. It's time to take action. It's time to filter our water. Visit InfoWarsStore.com and use promo code WATER to get 10% off their entire family of incredible products. Or call toll-free 888-253-3139.
coast to coast, direct from Austin.